What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more Cyndi Lauper. Once again, big shout out to Seb. And we're continuing with the long play or extended version of the Shine release. And the next track is Who Let in the Rain, which is interesting phrasing. It sounds like we're personifying rain as a personal entity, and of course, my expectation or my hypothesis is that we're using figurative or metaphorical meaning here to refer to rain number one as an emotional state or a type of emotion, and letting someone in, which typically relates to letting in a person into a house or a private space, and thus bringing them past a barrier from the outside world into a more personal, private, or vulnerable inner sanctum. And rain here, as I read it superficially, sounds like sadder emotions, heavier feelings, and thus to let in the rain would be to allow those feelings closer to someone's heart, to their feeling, to a space that is otherwise protected. And given that it sounds like a question in relation to the identity of the person who let the rain in, it sounds like the person speaking would not have done that intentionally, and is asking who's responsible for allowing them to feel hurt in this way. Obviously, that's all very speculative. I'll see what I can catch on a first listen. This is Cyndi Lauper. The track is Who Let in the Rain, and it's from the 2001 originally released Shine, though again, this is the extended LP version.
Things like this can always take a little time. I always thought we'd be together down the line. We start to fight and can't get over what was said. 'Cause you see black and white, and I see red. And I wonder who let in the rain. You know without you, I'm not the same. No. When love gets strong, people get weak. Sometimes they lose control and wind up in too deep. They fall like rain. Who let in the rain? Make the bed and cover when you used to sleep. I'm smooth and old, but promises made in these sheets. I envy lovers passing by out on the street. Oh, 'cause what they had I couldn't keep. And I wonder who let in the rain. You know without you, I'm not the same. No. But when love gets strong, people get weak. Sometimes they lose control and wind up in too deep. They fall like rain. Who let in the rain? And I wonder who let in the rain. rain, who let the rain, who let in the rain, who let the rain,
I mentioned I love the way Cyndi sings, and we do get a wide variety of her singing on this one, from full-on belting to quick vocal flourishes, a deep and heavier delivery, a almost gospel-like singing, and by the end her vocals are overlapping, like they're layered Cyndi vocals, which is great. They're echoed, and then she's almost mimicking an echo by singing the line or the main phrase, like tumbling over itself in the lead line. So yeah, a lot going on great vocally. It actually reminded me, like sonically, almost like Cyndi doing a Stevie-led Fleetwood Mac type of song, maybe with a bit of Marie Fredriksson in terms of her vocal delivery, which I know Marie has covered or sort of, done her own version of a Cyndi song, so I feel like that connection is not entirely, out of left field. But yeah, overall the Sonics had a bit of that like smooth folk pop type of feel to them, so yeah, it reminded me a bit of a Stevie-led Fleetwood song. And yeah, it sounds like it's quite sad, and I think the key lines in the song are that part of the chorus, like when love gets strong, people get weak, and sometimes they lose control, and the sense that they, in the situation of being in love, it's not easy to handle, and thus when that happens, they aren't able to keep it in the way that they thought, and making reference to all the promises that were said in these sheets when in better times, when they were in an intimate setting, and saying the things they felt to each other. Over time that's hard to maintain, and it hasn't turned out that way in practice, and she's sort of envious. I think she talks about love maybe personified, maybe lovers walking by, and she sees them in an earlier state of that evolution, and she wishes she could have that again, because now she's, by herself. And I do think there is a bit of that, who let the rain come in, meaning who let the sadness or the pain come in into something that was so great and warm and enveloping and so on. So it's sort of an assessment of where she is emotionally, but also a lament about the experience of love more broadly, like on a human level. So yeah, it's, I think, very insightfully emotionally written, and it speaks to the way that the best laid plans of not only mice and men, but of lovers, don't always turn out the way that they expect, or even in relation to what they said earlier. So yeah, there's a power to the tune, and certainly her vocals deliver all that power. And again, she provides a very dynamic vocal performance. So yeah, a really cool tune. Absolutely enjoyed that one. As I said, shout out to Seb. Let me know what you think of this, and Luca and I, he's just off camera here, we'll see you next time. Peace.